The 40 Sons of Aouez Khan. Once upon a time, there lived a Khan named Aouez. He had 40 sons. The Khan dreamt of finding a man with 40 daughters who might marry his sons. And one day he heard of such a man and sent his servants to him. When the servants arrived, they asked the man to betroth his 40 daughters to the 40 sons of Aouez Khan. The maiden's father answered, "I won't ask you for a Khalim to give my daughters in marriage to the Khan's sons, but I request that the Khan build a straight road from my home to his palace. On both sides of the road, I wish to see gardens lush with flowers and studded with brooks and fountains. And in these gardens, let there be nightingales that never cease to sing. And to accomplish all of this, I give the Khan 1 year." The servants returned to the palace and reported everything to the Khan. The Khan listened carefully to his servants and, after agreeing to all the conditions, summoned his sons. He kept at his side only the youngest one. As for the other 39, he sent them along with many servants to fulfill the task of building the road and planting the gardens. They toiled for a long time, yet there was no road to be seen and the gardens did not blossom. Then the youngest son declared to the Khan, "Father, let me join my brothers. I will build the road and plant the gardens." "My son," said the Khan, "how could you carry out alone what 39 brothers could not achieve together?" As the youngest son stood firm in his position, the Khan finally agreed and let him go. On the way, the Khan's son met a wise old man, dressed in white from head to toe. After the Khan's son bowed deeply to him, the old man asked, "Where are you going and why?" The Khan's son related everything to the old man, who assured him, "I will help you." The old man pondered, remained silent for some time, and finally said, "Close your eyes, my boy." The Khan's son obeyed, but when the old man commanded him to open his eyes again, the Khan's son was astounded. A straight road went from the house of the man with the 40 daughters to the Khan's palace, and on either side it was surrounded with gardens blooming to the sound of babbling brooks, gushing fountains and singing nightingales. Then the Khan's son heard the old man's voice. "Go back home, my boy. Don't rush to see your fiancée, but let your brothers go to theirs. On their way back, a violent storm will come and it will be difficult for them to finish their journey. Then a big and beautiful mansion will appear before them. Tell them not to stop there." Once these words were said, the old man disappeared, and the Khan's son returned home. His brothers inquired, "What news do you bring?" He answered, "I've finished the work." Again, the Khan kept his youngest son at his side and sent the others to fetch the fiancés after conveying the warning of the old man to them. The brothers arrived at their fiancés' home, lived there for a few months, and finally took them away to the Khan's palace. On the road, they were surprised by a storm that chilled them to the bone. As an imposing mansion appeared before them, they recalled the old man's warning and continued on their way. But their retinue had not been told about the warning and went inside for cover. Those who had passed the house retraced their steps and went inside as well. Lying there was a dragon. At the sight of the crowd coming in, he roared, "I shall eat all of you. If you want to live, bring me your youngest brother." Frightened by the dragon, the brothers agreed to his demands and were able to resume their journey home safely. The youngest brother, who had seen all this in a dream, disguised himself as a beggar, took a stick, and went to meet his brothers. They did not recognize him and passed by without paying any attention to him. The youngest brother went on and finally arrived at the dragon's house. The latter rejoiced when seeing the Khan's son and said, "It is good that you are here, my son. Come and sit on my back." When the Khan's son climbed on the dragon's back, the dragon ordered him to shut his eyes and then said, "Tell me what you see." The Khan's son answered in amazement, "I see a tall tree, and at the very top, a mysterious young lady." "Then come down," rumbled the dragon. When the Khan's son was on the ground, the dragon said, "Bring me this young lady and your life will be spared, or else I will eat you." The Khan's son set out in search of the young lady. He had been walking for a long time when he encountered the fox queen. She had a broken leg while running in the forest and was now curled up, crying in despair. The Khan's son rushed over and took care of her, and when her leg was fixed, the vixen plucked out a tuft of her own fur and said, "Whenever you need me, burn one of my hairs and I shall appear before you instantly." As the Khan's son resumed his search for the young lady, he came across the Ant King, who was also hurt. Once again, the Khan's son took the time to heal the Ant King's wound. "When you need me, throw this stone into fire, and I shall appear before you right away," said the Ant King as he handed him a stone. Eventually, after a seemingly endless journey, the Khan's son found a young lady in the forest. She immediately asked him, "Where are you from, and how did you reach this place? No human has ever set foot here." "I am the son of the Khan," he answered. "My father saw you in a dream and fell in love with you. He ordered me to find you. I have traveled far and wide, and finally today I have found you." The young lady paused to think, and then declared, "I have 2 wishes. If you grant them, I will leave the forest with you." "Very well," said the Khan's son. "I shall grant your wishes." Then the young lady said, "I have 2 vixens, and you will have to catch them when I let them loose. Then I will empty 2 sacks of wheat in the sand, and you will have to collect the grain, so as not to leave a single seed on the ground." Upon these words, she released her 2 vixens and dumped the 2 sacks of wheat into the sand. Out of ideas, the Khan's son burnt a tuft of the fox queen's fur, and on the spot she appeared, instantly catching the 2 vixens. Then the Khan's son placed his stone in fire, and immediately the Ant King appeared. When the Khan's son asked the Ant King to help him gather the grains of wheat, a colony of ants covered the sand and collected all the grains. In the blink of an eye, the 2 sacks were full of wheat again. Then, keeping her promise, the young lady left the forest with the Khan's son. As they walked for several days, the Khan's son told the young lady the truth about his quest, and she replied, "I have known this from the start, and it is of my own free will that I have joined you on this journey. Now we have to escape the dragon." "But what can we do?" wondered the Khan's son. "Well," answered the young lady, "you must come to the dragon a day before me and tell him that I am already on my way. When he runs out into the courtyard and erupts with joy, you must find the chest where he keeps his 2 doves. Set them free and the dragon will die on the spot." Following the instructions of the young lady, the Khan's son went to the dragon ahead of her. "Have you brought me the young lady?" asked the dragon. "Yes," answered the Khan's son. "She will be here very soon." Upon these words, the dragon charged out, jumping for joy. The Khan's son ran to the dragon's chest, let the captive doves out, and at once the dragon collapsed. Then the Khan's son brought the young lady to his home, where he was awaited by his father, brothers, and the 40 fiancés. He married his fiancée, living happily and prosperously ever after, while the young lady of the forest continued her journey onto new adventures, free of the dragon's threats and made stronger by her new friends.